So 3 years ago, as some of you know, I moved abroad with a plan. We had lots of savings and I had a clear vision for what I wanted my life to look like. And if I'm being 100% honest, today that plan has been slowly unraveling. My income dried up, my identity has started to feel kind of blurry, and some days I'm honestly not even sure how I'm going to rebuild without losing the life that I prayed for. So instead of pretending that I have everything figured out, that I have it all together, I'm gonna try my best to document it as honestly as possible. So this is day one of 90 days to rebuild my life abroad, where I share what's actually been happening behind the scenes when your dream life just stops working. So if you've ever moved abroad, if you followed your heart, if you followed a dream and now you feel stuck, anxious, or ashamed that things are just not working out the way that you hoped, this series is for you. So I hope that you'll subscribe. I hope that you'll walk this journey with me, not to see the highlight reels, but to see the real rebuild as I start all over again as a 39-year-old mother of two. The first question that I want to talk about in this episode is, what did I believe my life abroad would actually look like and what actually happened? I'd be lying if I said that nothing I desired, nothing that I've envisioned has actually happened. I'm literally sitting in our house that we were able to build in Bali. So many beautiful things have happened over the last 3 years since we've been here. We've grown as a family. I've grown as an individual. I've grown as a woman. I've healed a lot, and I've really been working on myself, my mental health. I've taken care of myself way better than I ever have before in my life. But the area that I would say has fallen apart completely, pretty much, is in regards to my income, in regards to my finances. And so before I left Bermuda, I actually had my own company and I did PR and communications consulting. But I would say, even as soon as I moved out here, I started to feel a little bit of a disalignment with some of the clients I was working with. I felt like I couldn't genuinely represent them and also live the life that I wanted over here. Because, for instance, I would have to be up late at night working, and that really impacted our family life. It impacted how I was able to be with my kids in the morning. It impacted just so much of our lifestyle. Thankfully, I had several clients at that time, so I had the option to say no to some clients and yes to others. And I kept the ones that I felt were most aligned, that allowed me to have the life and schedule that I wanted. But I would say once AI was introduced, it did definitely take away from business. I think even just my mindset changed, because I figured, why would someone want to pay me hundreds of dollars to write a press release when they can literally get AI to do it in 45 seconds or 2 minutes for a fraction of the cost, and maybe even free? And so I stopped really putting myself out there professionally. My clients slowly dwindled. My last contract finished in August, and I've been trying to slowly figure out what's next for me ever since. I've gone to different conferences talking about AI and how to use AI to build a new stream of income. And I've had all these ideas. And to be honest, my husband, my mom, they send me all these job ads. They send me different ideas for new businesses I can start. But I know for sure I don't want to start a business that is not something I actually want to do, because it's so hard to start a business that you really have to care about it. You have to be invested emotionally in order to see it through. Even the most simple business, if you want to become an Amazon affiliate, you have to have staying power, because nothing happens overnight, at least not in my experience. And so I would say that has been the biggest thing in my life that has just not been working out the way that I wanted it to. And so the great thing is that my husband has actually picked up work. He's in an area of IT/finance where he's definitely in high demand. And because of that, we've still been able to pay our bills and make things happen. But it's been hard because I just feel like an old version of me is dying and the new version of me has not emerged yet. And I'm in this weird in-between phase where I don't want to go back to where I was before. And I want to step into this new version. I want to step into this version of me that is living her dream life, that is coaching, that is working with women and building this vibrant community and having support for not only myself, but for other women who are dealing with things that I am as well. And that's been a dream of mine for so long. I love goal setting. It's really what lights me up. And it's really what has been something that allowed my mental health to thrive in certain seasons when it would have for sure fallen apart, is because I had something to look forward to. I had a place to go, a next step, and goal setting has just been a hope for me. It's something that allowed my hope to stay alive even when everything looked bleak, everything looked dark, with it, whether it was with my marriage or with my job or with anything. And so that's really why I'm excited to step into that dream life where I'm coaching, where I am impacting other women's lives, where I have this community of awesome women who are going on this journey with me, and we are cheering each other on and encouraging each other, holding each other accountable. But I'm in this weird, messy middle where my new life has not yet started, but my old life has for sure fallen away. And I'll be honest, this middle place is really scary. This middle place is really unnerving. It's really messing with my nervous system. I have been breaking out in acne, and I've been really trying to control my diet, really trying to get better sleep, really trying to do all the things that I should do with facials and chemical peels and all the things, in addition to my lifestyle changes that I need to continue to make. My nervous system is just in a place of feeling really unsettled and scared about the future because I don't know what's going to happen. And even a year or two ago, I remember my deepest fear, because I was enjoying myself, I had a stable income, and my deepest fear was just that it was all going to fall away, that we were going to end up back in our hometown, back in Bermuda, back in a place where, oh my gosh, my nervous system went berserk because there was just so much ongoing stress, so much family drama, so much old wounds that just kept getting triggered, and I just wasn't able to heal. And because of that, even now, we're going back to Bermuda for Christmas. So in the next video, you'll see me in Bermuda, but it's just hard for me to return there. I love my family. I can't wait to see my family. I love my friends. I get to meet my goddaughter for the very first time. I also feel apprehensive about returning. And it's because I don't know how much stress is going to be on my system. I don't know if I'm going to be able to use tools that I've learned to actually control the stress, to breathe through it, to not let it bother me, to not let what people say or think about me impact all this growth that I feel like I've gained. I feel like I've done so much healing, but it's not the type of healing that's so solid that nothing can shake it, because I do feel like if I was back in that environment, I would probably start to fall apart really, really quickly. And so anyways, that's where I am. I'm going to talk about what has spiraling actually looked like in my day-to-day life right now. I would say I've had a really good last 2 weeks. But I would say spiraling has been manifesting in a few different ways. The biggest way that I feel the most ashamed of is with my kids and with my husband, but mostly I feel guilty about my kids. I feel like I haven't wanted to do anything with them or be present with them. And when I am present, I feel like I'm just like angry mom. I'm just lashing out at them, angry at them, not showing any patience whatsoever. And it's because there's something in me that feels inadequate. I feel like, and I thought and hoped that I was gonna finish my job, that last contract that ended and that wound up. And I honestly thought that I was gonna figure it out and that I was gonna have another source of income up and running within maybe a couple of weeks or a month. And I really did try in my own strength, my own momentum to get things going. I tried different things. I tried starting this YouTube channel. I started creating different digital products that I wanted to get off the ground, but I didn't do it 100%. I never really finished things to completion or started marketing on social media or anything like that. I think there was things that were holding me back that maybe I wasn't admitting. And not having a monthly income has been really, really hard for me. I remember when I finished university, I literally, thank the Lord, had a job from day one, and I was able to start work as a news reporter that next week. As soon as I was ready, as soon as I graduated, I was able to start work. I never had to look for a job. I never had to really go for long seasons without work or employment. And even when I was in Bermuda and had given up my job and decided to take this big leap when I was 29 going 30 and figure out what was next, I was in journalism. I was deciding between either a PR communications consulting company doing freelancing or doing coaching, because I had just gotten my coaching certification. And even in that time, when I launched, I set up a basic Wix website and I got an article in the newspaper because my colleagues were all over there and they decided to feature me. And they did this awesome write-up that was really glowing, and I got loads of emails from that. I got emails and calls. And from day one, my community supported me. They were interested in working with me and they were allowing me to help them in this area. And so at first I was doing more like nonprofits and small businesses, and then it moved on to corporate clients and more consistent, higher paying clients. But I just remember pretty early on in that journey, I was making money. Even if it was a little bit of money, I was making money. And so to be 5 months in, or 5 or 6 months in, and to still not be sure what I'm gonna do to make an income, it's so unsettling. It's so scary. I thankfully have a pretty low cost of living out here. I can live a really good life for maybe $1,500 a month, but I don't even know where that's coming from going forward. And so I want to chronicle that journey because I hope that I'm not the only one. I hope that I'm not the only one who has accomplished a dream, but then slowly felt it unraveling, slowly felt it falling apart, and is ready to start again, to rebuild, because I don't want my dream to fall away. I really hope that God gave me this period of joy and healing and peace for a reason. I don't want to go back. I'm so proud of the gains that I've made in terms of my mindset, the gains that I've made in terms of healing and creating distance from things that used to really, really shake me, things that had me feeling like I was nothing, not enough. So that's where I am. I am hoping that you'll come along on this journey with me. I'm going to be sharing every single week about what's happened, what I'm working on, maybe journaling prompts that I'm doing that are helping with my mindset, maybe taking walks in nature. I hope to do that when I go back home. And just anything that I'm doing that is making any kind of difference. And I really hope that it will help you if you're in the same season. The last thing I wanted to talk about in this video is why I'm choosing to document this instead of hiding. I've told parts of my story in my YouTube channel so far. I've told parts of my journey moving abroad, but I feel like I've cherry-picked. I've cherry-picked the good parts to tell you about because I felt like those were the parts that were worthy of being seen. Those were the parts that were worthy of me being a coach. How can I coach people if I don't have all of my stuff together? So because of that, I felt like I was choosing to highlight the areas of my life where I was doing well. And I was sweeping under the rug the things that I was still struggling with because I didn't want them to be seen. I didn't want to have to dwell on them. I didn't want to have to admit that every single day I have to psych myself up to not lose hope and not spiral into a mild depression. I love my life. I really, really do. And I do not want to go back to where I was before. And there's this fear. I don't know if I could handle that. I just don't think I could. And I don't want to. And so hopefully by sharing about this journey, sharing about what's really going on behind the scenes. I've had no coaching clients, even though I've been on this platform for at least maybe 4 months or so. Very little views, very little subscribers, and maybe hopefully by being honest and sharing this journey I will be able to find more people who resonate with where I am. I will be able to share more about who I am. I will be able to share all of me and not just the highlight reels. I will be able to show you who I am, and hopefully, even if you don't choose to work with me, you see a little piece of yourself in my story. And if you're in a season where you're rebuilding again, where you're starting again financially, spiritually, and personally, all the ways, career-wise, that you see my story and you decide to keep going and not give up. So I'm hopeful. I'm actually in a place, because it's the new year, it's the cusp of the new year. It's December, what's the day? December 16th while I'm recording this. So hopefully as I go about the next couple of weeks, I have something amazing to share with you. I have breakthroughs, I have ideas that actually were able to move forward. And I'm also sure there's going to be some disappointments along the way. And so by navigating both of those things, I can give you tools, I can give you suggestions, I can give you tips, so that if you are on this journey with me, if you are in a similar position or in a similar predicament, that you know what step to take. I'll try it, I'll tell you how it worked, how it didn't work, and you can just let me know in the comments if any of this worked for you, if you tried something different. I'd love to hear, because it'd be nice not to feel so alone in this season of literally starting again at 39, almost 40 next year, when I'm supposed to have my life together. I'm supposed to be a big girl. I'm supposed to be a mom and know all the answers and know what to do. And sometimes I see so many people on YouTube. There's like people that I follow, and they're literally running these 7-figure businesses, and I'm struggling to get my business to $1 or 10,000 a month. That's my big goal. And so I'm really just learning. I'm really digesting as much as I can in terms of self-help education, so that I can have the mindset, but also the determination to keep going. So before we go, I just want to remind you that this is week 1 of 90 days to rebuild my life abroad. Right now, I'm hoping to choose direction. I'm hoping to choose awareness. And in the next 90 days, I'm going to be sharing what it actually looks like to try to calm my nervous system when it goes berserk, to try to reconnect with my faith when I feel like God has forsaken me or left me, how to find clarity, and how to just choose peace over panic. And so if you're walking a similar path, I hope you'll subscribe so you don't walk it alone. And next week, I'm going to be back home in Bermuda, and that's going to be a really interesting experience. So we'll see how I can show up. I'm hoping I can show up from the same grounded, calm space, so that I can let you know how this journey continues to unfold. So I'll see you in the next episode.